I process death certificates at a city hospital. I found a pattern in room 314. Tonight, my husband is in that room. I've worked in the medical records basement at St. Agnes Hospital for 11 years. My job is boring, and I like it that way. I sit surrounded by gray filing cabinets and the low hum of servers, typing death certificates into the state database. The doctor already fills in the cause of death. I just copy it, hit submit, and move to the next file. I don't see patients. I don't hear sirens. After 11 years, you learn to stop reading the words and just see shapes. I noticed the pattern by accident. My coffee had worn off, I was typing slow, and I saw 2 certificates from the 3rd floor. Same room number, 314. Same cause of death, cardiac arrest. The dates of death were exactly 1 year apart. I almost let it go. Coincidences happen. But boredom makes you curious, so I started pulling more files. Over the next week, I went through every death certificate from room 314 going back to 2005. I found 37 cases. All cardiac arrest. All between midnight and 3 a.m. the attending physicians changed. The patients changed. The only constant was the room. I pulled the physical admission logs for those patients. This meant spending my lunch breaks in the old archives, breathing in mold and paper dust. What I found made me close the folder and sit in the dark for a long time. Every single one of those 37 patients had a flagged note in their file. Not always criminal. Sometimes just a social worker's observation, or a nurse's shift report. Patient became highly agitated when wife visited. Daughter asked staff not to leave patient alone with grandchildren. Multiple bruises in various stages of healing noted on spouse during intake. The hospital never acted on these notes. They just got filed. And then the patient got admitted for something routine, a broken hip, a UTI, pneumonia, and ended up in room 314. And then they died. Quietly. Cardiac. With no one asking questions. I told myself I was seeing patterns in noise. But then I looked at the nursing staff assignments for those specific night shifts. Most nights, the floor nurses rotated normally. But there was one name that kept appearing in the margins of the older paper rosters, written in small, neat handwriting. N. Bishop. The name stopped showing up in 1982. I searched our employee records. Noreen Bishop was a night nurse at St. Agnes from 1965 to 1982. She died on December 17, 1982, in room 314. Cause of death, cardiac arrest. Her HR file was thin, but I found 2 disciplinary write-ups. One for refusing to administer pain medication to a patient she referred to as a monster. The other for being found in the room of a cardiac arrest victim at 2 a.m., sitting calmly beside the bed, holding the patient's hand. She told her supervisor she was just saying goodbye. The patient was a man who had been investigated twice for severe domestic abuse, but never charged due to lack of evidence. I stopped sleeping. I started volunteering for extra night shifts in the records room so I could dig deeper. I found old, crumbling shift logs where Noreen had written tiny, cramped notes in the margins next to specific patient names. He won't hurt her anymore. The children are safe now. She asked me to. I didn't know who she was until I found a faded, handwritten complaint from a doctor in 1954, buried in a box of incident reports that should have been shredded decades ago. The doctor accused a nurse E. Alcott of deliberate inaction resulting in patient demise. The patient was a man with severe burns on his hands. His wife had matching burns on her back. The doctor wrote, Nurse Alcott stated she heard the patient's wife crying from across the ward, and that she prayed on it, and that God told her to let the man suffer. Nurse Alcott was let go quietly. She died 2 years later. Cause of death, cardiac arrest. Room 314. Something was being passed down. A duty. A curse. I don't know what to call it. 3 nights ago, my husband was admitted to St. Agnes. He fell off a ladder in our garage. Broken collarbone, possible concussion. They kept him on the 3rd floor for observation. When I walked into his room to sit with him, I saw the number on the door. 314. I froze. I should have asked for a transfer. I should have made a scene. But I didn't. I just walked in, sat beside his bed, and held his hand. I smiled when the nurses came in. I told them he was a good man, a hard worker, just clumsy. But last night, one of the night nurses paused in the doorway. She was older, gray hair pulled back in a tight bun. She looked at me with an expression I couldn't read. She glanced at the room number. She glanced at my husband, sleeping heavily under the thin hospital blanket. Then she looked back at me, and she said, very softly, you know, don't you? I didn't answer. I just stared at her. She gave a small, sad smile, turned, and walked away. Her footsteps faded down the hall. I'm writing this from the vinyl chair beside his bed. It's 1:47 a.m. The hospital is quiet. My husband is asleep. The nurse hasn't come back. But I can feel something in this room. A warmth. A presence. It's standing just behind me, at the very edge of my vision. I don't want to turn around. I don't want to see her face. But I can smell lavender and old paper, and I can hear a voice, thin, gentle, like a radio tuned between stations, whispering the same words over and over. She asked me to. I know what he is. I've always known. The way he apologizes after he breaks something, then makes me clean it up while smiling. The sick days I took when I couldn't show my face to my coworkers. The way Sunday was always family day, and family day always ended with me crying in the bathroom, scrubbing my skin raw in the shower. I never told anyone. I just typed certificates and came home and pretended. For 11 years. I haven't decided what I'll do. But my hand is resting on his 4 line. And the room feels very, very patient.